So Bronzebeard World of Warcraft from Project Ascension is set to release this Friday, 3 p.m. BST or 10 a.m. EST if you're American. So this is the new chapter. It's the 9 classes, but there's a lot of detail and there's new combos. So we're going to watch a video and that's going to go over the details and see what it's like.
Azeroth, a world of danger, excitement, of hidden caves and catacombs, and endless horizons, where evil lurks beyond every ridge, where strangers become allies, and where you have infinite potential to forge your story. Welcome to Warcraft Reborn, a new type of Classic Plus that goes beyond anything you've ever imagined. Step into an Azeroth enriched with new places to adventure, hundreds of new locations to quest and fight in. As you journey through them, you'll face deadlier creatures that will challenge you with their difficulty and reward you with new immersive spoils. Take them down to discover new strength, both treasure hidden in the world to uncover and brand new power that can change up how you play your class. When you're strong enough, you'll band together with allies to fight back against a savage Azeroth, taking on challenges bigger than you could overcome alone, all while playing as the iconic, original 9 classes. This is your next adventure, and it starts right now.
So there'll be no Death Knight or Demon Hunter. It's the original vanilla sort
Warcraft
of 9
Reborn
classes.
is a new type of Classic Plus, merging the familiar with something entirely new. An adventure crafted solely for the original 9 classes, Warcraft Reborn goes beyond your expectations to build on the very best of Classic Azeroth. Enter the world as a warrior, mage, rogue, hunter, shaman, warlock, priest, paladin, and druid with new race and class combinations.
What race class combination are you looking for? Human plus every class.
Wrath of the Lich King
Thank you,
talents in
Slotty.
vanilla, new spells added to each class baseline, and even brand new talents added to the core Wrath trees to unlock playstyles you've never been able to play before in vanilla.
Greetings.
Take your expanded class and challenge a deadlier Azeroth.
So Marcus put this on to me. I'm going to check this game out, give it a go for a day or two. I'm not overly committing anything by any means. So just going to check it out, have a go. But you want to treat this perhaps a bit more like Season of Discovery. It's the original World of Warcraft vanilla, but obviously they've got different combinations. There's new spells that you can now pick up, different ways to build your character through the talents, and so forth. So you want to treat it more of a kind of, I don't know, no, I wouldn't say experiment, but more of a kind of adventure than it is perhaps something to fully commit to, because obviously it's going to be quite different to the original World of Warcraft, which most people will have a problem with.
Where creatures are strengthened beyond anything you've experienced before. More realistic behaviors, new spells and ways to defeat you, and even deeper RPG elements that make every creature you fight dangerous and unique. Slay them to discover immersive gear drops with
I really hope Blizzard's listening. I know everyone hates Blizzard and stuff like that, but if they do eventually do their proper Classic Plus, which inevitably they probably will at some point, so we want it, if it is going to be made, to at least be as good as it possibly can do. They're taking advice basically from all the good work that's been done with the private servers. So this, for example, I really like. You got the immersive gear drops that can be collected from the characters.
expanded stats that make sense with the creature you took it from, allowing you to hunt creatures wearing the gear that you want. Along the way,
It's like
you'll
farming
discover
dungeons.
thousands of hand-placed RPG items and mystic enchantments tailored to the original classes, making Azeroth rich with hidden treasure scattered across new and familiar zones, if you can find it. And that's just the beginning. Dive into a crafting overhaul that transforms professions
You can get experience.
into a meaningful part of your journey. Upgrade your crafted items with stronger materials, discover new craftables to forge.
What's going to be the most manipulative class or profession to level up fast? Skinning? Can you get experience every time you create some skinning? I'm just trying to wonder.
Trade with other players to contribute to commerce throughout Azeroth, and so much more. Take on new quests, challenge optional hardcore trials, and band together with allies to take on dangers you couldn't face alone. Questing through iconic zones, facing down deadly creatures, and meeting allies along the way to share in the adventure. When you're strong enough, you'll dive into new dungeons, battle new and empowered endgame world bosses, challenge enhanced dungeon and raid mechanics, and wage war in new and upgraded
Was that Ragefire Chasm?
new dungeons.
That wasn't, was it?
Battle
Because it says new dungeons.
new and empowered
Don't want to
endgame
pause on that.
world bosses, challenge
It looks like Ragefire Chasm. I don't know if they've redone it, because I think that was like the last boss of it.
enhanced dungeon and raid mechanics, and wage war in new and upgraded battlegrounds and arenas. All of it is set in a nostalgic Azeroth where the focus is on your journey, where you'll immerse yourself in a living...
Why did he swap from a gun to a wrench? If you can dodge a bullet, you can dodge a wrench.
Focus is on your journey.
What?
Where you'll immerse yourself in a living, breathing world where the best parts
disarmed.
of the adventure rise to new heights. Where you'll become part of a bustling community, set off into the world to gather new power, and become strong enough to take on
big
greater
boy.
and greater challenges. This is the rebirth of a nostalgic adventure, and it all starts with choosing your class.
Which one you going to pick? I'm leaning towards Warrior, and my backup is always Hunter, because I love the way Hunter plays. But I don't want to burn myself out on Hunter, because if I do end up like properly committing at some point, like I say, if Blizzard did like the proper Classic Plus, and yes, you can hate me. I know, I get it. But yeah, Hunter would be probably the one I'd much prefer to play. I don't normally like Warrior, but I think if they're going to have access to the Wrath of the Lich King talents and stuff like that, the gameplay will be more punchy. And I think the later expansions with World of Warcraft, I enjoyed Warrior more during like Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm and so forth, because they had more active, punchy abilities. Especially Fury. Fury is the one I'm interested in.
Warcraft Reborn is a slower, more immersive journey through Azeroth, designed exclusively for the original 9 classes. Whether you're a powerful warrior charging headfirst into danger, or a tactical mage slinging spells from afar, you'll find a world filled with opportunities to...
Speaking of Warrior, yes, you can dual wield 2 hands in this, which is obviously another awesome thing. And Warrior was supposedly OP in Wrath. I'm just going to quickly show you. This is the Warrior on the server at the moment. Now, they changed the game so it's a lot harder, so bear that in mind. You got 1.5 experience rate. However, the mobs are super tough. I tried this. I only killed 1 mob, but this is just trying to fight against 1 wolf. Look at the health on either side. I got to use Heroic Strike. I got to use Heroic Strike. Thank you for the buff. I'm going to need that. But generally speaking, you're pretty much down to almost no health. So you might be lucky if you can basically fight 2 mobs. So if I start this mob now at like 70% health, can I actually kill it before it kills me? I'm hoping so. You back up a little bit and get the old heroic strikes out and don't miss them, perhaps. They're definitely tougher, these mobs. It's not like before. And that's just the bare basic wolf. The mobs are going to be more complicated. They're going to have better abilities. So Warrior, I'm a bit sketchy on playing that just because we know how fragile Warrior is in the open world leveling up scenario. It's like you're barely lucky if you can fight 1 mob and then you have to sit down and drink. Yeah, dedicated healer might be needed.
Tackle challenges your way. Warcraft Reborn embraces the original 9's classic roles and expands them by introducing new ways for each class to play to their strengths, while at the same time respecting their weaknesses to enhance the RPG soul of the game. First, you'll have more variety in how you shape your character with new race and class combinations. Troll Druid, Human Hunter, Dwarf Shaman, Night Elf Mage, Tauren Paladin, Blood Elf Warrior, Orc Mage, Troll Warlock, Gnome Priest, Dwarf Mage, Undead Hunter, and Undead Paladin are all available to play on Reborn. Second, you'll harness Wrath of the Lich
People really love that undead paladin, don't they? It's like wanting to rebel. You just want to be rebellious.
King talent trees in vanilla to give more complete trees to every spec in the game. This opens up playstyles that were never available in vanilla, like Feral Druid, Subtle.
You could have just said Druid, right? Was Druid ever playable in vanilla properly?
Rogue, Arcane Mage, Retribution Paladin, and Balance Druid. Not only will you have access to powerful additional talents, but you'll also be able to snag
Shaman is Horde, though. I don't think you're going to have the luxury like some other private servers where they'll make it so that you can play an Alliance Shaman. So we did play Horde, then a Shaman. Again, Shaman was interesting because, again, I kind of fancy a sort of a fast two-hand attacking, or sorry, dual-wielding attacking character with punchy abilities that he gets to use every 5 to 8 seconds or something, you know? 1 to 8 seconds, you know? Yeah.
talent abilities like Blade Storm, Starfall, Deep Freeze, Explosive Shot, Titan's Grip, Killing Spree, Divine Freeze,
What's that one?
Explosive Shot, Titan.
See, this is interesting. They got Titan's Grip there and then Single-Minded Fury. I assume you can't use both at the same time because the first one allows you to equip two-handed weapons, right? And then the next one is when you dual-wield one-handed weapons. So you could take the points, but you're only going to want one of them. So you kind of want to decide which one you're going to go down. Maybe.
Grip, Killing Spree, Divine Storm, Metamorphosis, Feral Spirits, and more to play the spec you want and contend with Azeroth's.
Did they say Dwarf Shaman? Did I miss that? Was I crazy?
You shape your character with new race and class combinations. Troll Druid, Human Hunter, Dwarf Shaman.
Well, I retract my point then. I was completely wrong. So you can be a shaman. All right. Okay, well now I'm going to need to look at the shaman as well. What do you think? Fast attacking, punchy character, shaman. I don't really like totems though. But then I don't like the stance dancing with warrior typically. That's not so bad, but the thing I found really frustrating with Warrior is losing all that rage when you're dancing and stancing, as well as on top of the fact that like 70% of your abilities aren't accessible, depending on which stance you're in. It might be hyperbole, but that was always something that really, in the later World of Warcraft expansions, they kind of made it so you could access more of your abilities. But in the real vanilla World of Warcraft, it really frustrated me that I'd have to be like, oh, I want to use this one ability, but I got to change over to this stance. I'm going to lose a bunch of rage. Then I can activate that ability. Then I'm going to swap back. It's just annoying. It's clunky.
Night Elf, powerful additional Storm, Starling Spree to play the Spot Freeze, Explosive Shot, Titan's Grip, Killing Spree, Divine Storm, Metamorphosis, Feral Spirits, and more to play the spec you want and can.
Is it legal to play these servers? Well, it's certainly not legal to stream them. At least I won't be able to stream it if I do it on Twitch, but I could do it on YouTube. As for playing it, I don't know what the legality of that is. I assume it's fine. Otherwise, everyone's under arrest. Does Pally have AoE farming? Yeah, that's another one of my favorites. Is Paladin AoE farming, but I don't really want to have to play Paladin. That's the only reason why I like playing Paladin, because when I did the TBC version, it was so strong. He had the right talents and everything. I just built up tons of spell damage gear. It was fun.
Azeroth's new danger.
I just wanted pure spell damage.
Are just the beginning. Reborn introduces brand new talents to the baseline Wrath of the Lich King trees to open up brand new play styles and new ways to play. Charge through Azeroth as a melee-focused survival hunter.
Could be a melee hunter as well.
Foes alongside your bestial pet. Seer foes with Holy Light as a smite-based DPS priest, either taking down foes in a blinding flash, or taking on a hybrid DPS healer role. Or storm through foes with new shaman talents.
Ooh.
Becoming either a two-handed
weapon specialization increases your critical strike chance while wielding a two-handed weapon by an additional 2% and increases the damage dealt by storm strike by... It's a two-handed enhancement. Alright, so it's not dual wield necessarily.
Focus DPS or leading your party as a tank.
People are going to like that. Tank shaman as well.
giving you endless new possibilities to challenge Azeroth. These new playstyles expand further with new spells selectively brought to vanilla. You'll unlock a handful of new spells for your class while you level up, giving you new tools to challenge
That
a
was fun.
deadlier Azeroth. Brand new spells like Quick Shot, vanilla versions of TBC and Wrath spells like Crusader Strike, Heroic Throw, and Cloak of Shadows support classic specializations
Cloak of Shadows is so busted.
and unlock new ways to play. Everything comes together to enhance the OG classes and prepare you to challenge a massively expanded Azeroth. But as you set out on your adventure into the wider world, what can you hope to find? Exploring
Yevie.
Azeroth is one of the best parts of your adventure. Setting off into the world, stumbling on something new that you didn't expect,
Thank you.
and tackling it in whatever way your class is good at is one of the thrills of the adventure. Even better if you get some
Yoink.
treasure out of it. Is one of the thrills of the adventure.
What's he got? Cursed Blade. Well, that's a nice weapon for him, isn't it? Not too shabby. It says requires level 24. Actually, it's a little low level, isn't it, really? I wonder if that's... Yeah. Okay. I assume the weapons that you can pick up, etc., through the world are going to be equivalent to the level of the zone. Otherwise, what's the point of getting a level 24 if you're level 35?
Even better if you get some treasure out of it. On Warcraft Reborn, from the very beginning of your journey, you'll discover hundreds of new places waiting for you to explore. These new locations begin with expanded starting zones and continue to introduce new places all throughout Azeroth. They're handcrafted to fit within the classic world, expanding the places you can adventure while also adding new lore and stories to it. You might discover a group of soldiers from Darkshire building a new encampment along Duskwood's northern border, or a band of mercenaries getting into trouble in the heart of the wetlands. When you stumble upon these interesting new places, you might find helpful merchants to trade with, dangerous enemies to challenge.
What
You
was that?
might find helpful merchants to trade with.
Bonds to Realm. Requires level 15. Bleeding Edge. You gain free energy when you're... So you're buying class-specific abilities or effective enhancements to abilities here?
Dangerous enemies to challenge, and even brand new treasure to claim. While you journey, you'll discover new quests that take you to different points of interest, leading you to places that have never even existed before. These quests are immersive and fit within the vanilla setting, offering interesting bits of lore and new goals to achieve. Some quests even award custom items with new visuals.
That's nice. I don't know exactly what the deal is with Twitch and private streaming. I just know you're not supposed to do it.
That you can wield to carve your legend. Some of Azeroth's more curious citizens might even offer you unusual challenges,
This looks
rewarding
fun.
you for completing their
I'd want that, but I'd want that to be a lot harder. That's the only problem with that. And that's this issue I had with World of Warcraft and the more sort of modern version of it. Even going back like 10 plus years ago when they started to add sort of challenges and stuff like that, is they had to be accommodating. Like, remember the Mr. Pandaria, like, what was it? Bronze, silver, gold. And a lot of people weren't sort of able to do the silver or the gold for some reason, even though it was really easy. Like, you have this struggle of trying to accommodate for all types of players, some being much worse than others. But I want like a hard version of this, where it's like genuinely like really actually tough to do, but it is doable to dodge everything. That would be really fun. But I don't want just like two things flying at you that you can easily dodge.
strange games. You might have to face off against a brute to prove that you're a warrior worth your salt, or dodge rampaging Kodo to show off your skills as a hunter. You'll even stumble upon dangerous, brand new rare creatures to contend with. These stronger creatures have their own unique spells and abilities. Some are even their own mini-bosses, and each one drops brand new treasure, equipment, and perhaps even new power.
So you're going to have more of a reason to go out there and actually take out these specific characters to actually boost your character. Gear you can replace, but actual boosts to your abilities, you're not going to really want to miss out on that unless you can just train that later on when you get higher level if you didn't do it.
These expanded locations breathe new life into the world, putting a sense of adventure back into Azeroth. But be careful as you travel off the beaten path to find them. Azeroth isn't as forgiving as you remember it, and as you encounter enemies in your travels, you'll be facing off against completely redesigned foes. When you step into Azeroth,
I forgot to mention, you can see when you play this, you can either choose to play with the more modern, and I say modern, I think this is more based on Wrath of the Lich King era graphics, or you can still choose to have classic graphics, so it looks more like the original. I've gone with the classic, but honestly, I don't mind the more modern World of Warcraft looks. It's only when it started getting to furries and scalies is that when they went across the board. Do you know, they went too far. But before that, I could take it. It was all right. Didn't have an issue.
you choose a role that suits you, whether that's a powerful warrior, an agile rogue, or a mystical mage. When you choose that role, you expect it to impact your strengths and weaknesses out in the world.
They do have transmogging, but you can turn it off. That's also a feature when you log in. You can choose to not see transmog. So that way, I think I would choose that. Even though I think transmogging is really cool, it's a really fun way to build up your character. That was more relevant when you was actually playing the latest version of World of Warcraft, not going back and playing ones that you've already played 2, 3, 4, 5 times now at this point. But you can turn that off, and I think that's more important to turn off because you don't want to see... it's going to be based on other players, transmogging, not units, I suppose, but you want to see what they're wearing properly.
Warrior might shine fighting foes in melee combat, but have less tools to deal with enemies at range, whereas a rogue has the adaptability and tools to deal with different targets by changing up their strategy. These strengths and weaknesses make your decisions matter, but for them to mean something, you need to encounter a vast world filled with thousands of different creatures to challenge. And on Warcraft Reborn, you will. Warcraft Reborn completely redesigns all of Azeroth's creatures from the ground up with unique, fitting stats based on what they look like. From your very first kobold to the Scarlet Paladins of Tyr's Hand, every single creature in Azeroth has been hand-tuned with unique stats like additional armor, attack power, dodge, haste, armor penetration, spell damage, critical strike, parry, block, and extra keys, as well as unique vulnerabilities and resistances to different types of magic. They also are now actually wearing equipment that influences their behavior. Just like for you, a dagger will mean a faster attack speed and likely additional agility for the creature using it, whereas a giant two-handed sword means additional strength and attack power. Everything has been hand-tuned to make every single creature in Azeroth a unique, distinct challenge, and you can predict what kind of challenge just by looking at them. For example, a Defias bandit with a dagger and leather armor will have a higher attack speed and dodge chance than a Scarlet Crusader. The Crusader might not be able to dodge you, but with their plate armor and shield, they will have the ability to block and parry your attacks. A cultist casting shadow magic will naturally be weak to holy spells, taking extra damage if you strike them with this magic. Similarly, a fire elemental will take reduced damage from fire spells, but a lot more damage from frost spells. To take advantage of this, you might weave in a few frostbolts when fighting it to deal additional damage, or equip spell penetration gear to overcome its resistance. This means that you have the chance to make decisions that maximize your effectiveness. With a whole world of new creatures behaving in different ways, you will have a wide variety of encounters to engage with and adapt to. For example, that fast-attacking bandit enemy might not mean much if you're playing a warrior, whose armor and blood-crazed talent actually benefit against the fast but weak attacks and critical strikes. But that same bandit might be devastating to a mage player, because the fast attacks mean constant spell pushback, making it harder to cast your spells.
Don't play a
From
caster.
a different perspective, A block tank will be more effective at mitigating damage from fast attacking foes, since shield block reduces a flat amount of damage per hit. Meanwhile, a bear tank might be better suited for taking slower, harder hits because of their savage defense. This creates a dynamic, dangerous world where your choices in combat matter, and where different classes have unique strengths in different situations. It's not just about who deals the most damage or who has the most armor. It's about using your tools to best overcome the unique obstacle in front of you, allowing different classes to shine in different moments. This results in a diverse meta that changes on every encounter and every pull. The RPG creature overhaul transforms Azeroth's monsters so that what you see on an enemy now directly translates to gameplay. What they look like, what they're wearing, and what abilities they use. And on Warcraft Reborn, when you take them down, you'll find yourself with new, immersive loot.
See, that's neat, I think. Especially when you're grinding a zone for quite a long time. If you pick like a tougher area, but you could get rewarded by actually getting good mobs. Because if you're fighting animals, you're not going to get much gear, right? So isn't there more incentive to fight against humanoid areas so you can get the armor that they have?
On Warcraft Reborn, the world is alive with foes worth fighting, and each one carries the gear that makes them dangerous. Gear that you can take for yourself. As you challenge deadlier RPG creatures, you'll find that they don't just have new stats. They're wearing gear that reflects those stats. And if you take them down, you can loot it. From that kobold's pickaxe to that ogre's giant axe, to robes from a wizard or a tabard from that knight. On Warcraft Reborn, all creatures have a chance to physically drop.
You said Retafall said I was on the Alpha Beast drop gear relevant to what they are. Oh, so what, they can still drop actual physical gear like this, for example?
The gear they're wearing when slain, complete with all the new RPG stats that they have thanks to the RPG creature overhaul. This is in addition to their regular classic loot.
But how does that work? Because the idea of this is that you'll well, yeah, I'm not saying that they can't drop like clothing that you can wear. I think the idea is that the creatures that you're destroying, you can actually get the armor. There's a chance, let's say there's a 10% chance every time you kill one that you could get a good piece of armor that they're wearing that actually has like interesting gear, like spell damage that you wouldn't normally get, etc. Boar can drop tusks like daggers. Okay, I see. So it goes to that level of degree.
Giving you an all-new way to gear up. This means that creature loot on Reborn is immersive. You're not just getting treasure from a pool of random loot. You're getting contextual, meaningful treasure based on what you decide to hunt. This makes gearing up.
I think this is the most impressive thing. I think this is like really interesting. This idea that everything that you're fighting against actually has meaning, so to speak, in terms of what you're trying to get from it.
Exciting and engaging, because you can seek out and kill creatures wearing the stuff that you want. Take down a cool tier in Marine to become one, finding loot with stats like strength, block, or additional armor. Or slay a wizard to loot its robes and gain spell power, and maybe even a staff with spell haste. You can even take down creatures wearing unique pieces of equipment to get it, letting you grab exciting new gear that's never been available before. Even bosses drop their equipped gear, which you can get not just to gain stats, but to actually look like that boss. I'm Dark Master Ganling now. Azeroth is filled with warriors, wizards, monsters, ogres, ghouls, beasts, and bandits. Now, each of these creatures has unique stats, strengths, and weaknesses, and each one drops gear that reflects what they're good at, enhancing what Classic is all about. On Warcraft Reborn, Azeroth is filled with incredible new locations, new events to challenge, and dangerous enemies to confront. But when you feel the urge to just set off on an adventure and explore someplace interesting, will your curiosity be rewarded? What can you hope to find while wandering?
So this bit is like Wallers of Draenor, the sort of treasures that could be found in tree branches, etc. I really like that from Warlords of Draenor. Warlords of Draenor had that really sketchy start in terms of the server stability, but the actual leveling up experience part of it was actually very good.
Expanded Azeroth as the original 9 classes. World-forged items are lootable RPG objects scattered across the open world that you can find while exploring. From shimmering trinkets to forgotten potions, helmets, necklaces, rings, and even weapons. World-forged items ensure that the whole world is filled with incredible treasures to discover. As early as level 1,
Yeah,
you'll
10
start
slot
finding
bag.
these items scattered across Azeroth, hand-placed in interesting, thematic locations that add depth and dimension to the world. At the bottom of a cavern, inside that cathedral, or off on a secluded island, might lie an awesome new item for you to discover. These items range from uncommon to...
What if it's one you can't use, though? You swim like 15 miles to get to this island, and it gives you something for a druid, and you're a mage.
some new item for
It's like bugger.
you to discover. These items range from uncommon to epic, and have exciting, unique effects that give you new ways to challenge Azeroth. You might find a ring that has a chance to fear enemies who
Almost seems like having enchanting would be pretty good, to be honest, because there's going to be a lot of crap to disenchant.
strike you, or a shield that shocks foes for extra nature damage. Additionally, many of these items
Are they going to be spawn camped too? That's a question. Yeah. You wonder if it's like the server recognizes you as an individual, so if someone else picks up that book, it doesn't make the book disappear. It only disappears once you've picked it up because it's taken you into account. Does that make sense? So it only doesn't affect other players. And then another player will see that book and that will still be there for them, even though you took the book.
have a wide
It's lootable once per prestige, so it's basically once sort of for you, right?
variety of stats that have never been available before at early levels. Find armor penetration, spell penetration, haste, and more as you scour Azeroth for World-forged
Penetration,
items.
penetration.
With over 1,800 to find, you're sure to stumble on something amazing no matter where you choose to explore. But finding them is only the beginning. World-forged items can also grow with you. Using runes, which you'll get from completing quests, taking down bosses, winning battlegrounds, and more, you can upgrade World-forged items in major cities.
Ah, so that makes it more relevant, does it, huh?
By speaking to the Guardian of Time and trading
So you can get a higher level version. Requires level 58, so stay... Okay.
both the base item and the right amount of runes, you can reforge the item into stronger versions. World-forged items make it so that
Sorry,
no
let's
item
just see that again. It's starting to get to epics now.
into stronger
And that's the strongest version, huh? Okay.
versions. World-forged items
Or
make
one
it
of
so
them.
that no matter where you adventure, you've got a chance to find something exciting. They're not just scattered about randomly. They've been hand-placed to reward your curiosity and add to Azeroth's immersive world. Seek them out as you continue on your journey. But items aren't the only things you'll
Ooh.
discover on your adventure.
It's well
Hidden
presented,
across
very well
Azeroth's
presented.
open world, dropped from monsters, and located inside powerful runes are mystic enchantments, powerful augmentations that expand your spells and strengths. Some enchantments teach you new spells, others support the talents that you choose.
So that warrior one was like, once he uses leap through the air to slam down with destructive, but it looked like he threw a hammer that was like sticking around, almost like a paladin type ability from like Diablo or whatever.
Enchantments,
This
powerful
first one, he throws the axe,
augmentation
and then it looks
that
like it's bouncing or just sticking in that area doing AoE damage before he actually
expand
pounces.
your spells and strengths. Some enchantments teach
That must
you
be a new
new
ability then.
spells. Others support the talents that you choose, and some still change up the entire way you play. On Warcraft Reborn, every mystic enchantment is hand-built for the original 9 classes. There are 4 types of enchantments: Artifact enchantments grant you a single, unique, or 4
Increases the damage of your arcane explosion by a percentage. Okay.
types of enchantments. Artifact enchantments grant you a single, unique utility spell designed to expand the ways that you can help.
Let's have a look at that again. So you unlock these. And these are bonuses to what your abilities already are that you can get. Dragon Roar was the stun.
Grant you a single, unique utility spell designed to expand the ways that you can help yourself and allies. Mass Invisibility for mages, Smoke Bomb for rogues, and Avatar for warriors are just a few of the many artifact enchantments that you'll find for each class. Meanwhile, legendary enchantments are powerful signature enhancements that define your strengths. Some enhance your preferred way to play. Mastery enchantments like Affliction or Protection Mastery provide a passive boost for your entire spec, giving your favorite classic playstyle the strength to contend with a deadlier Azeroth. Other legendary enchantments grant you a new signature spell designed to empower and complement your chosen build. Cremation, Colossus Smash, or Void Eruption are a few examples. Others still completely reshape your role and unlock a new playstyle. Gladiator Stance lets warriors DPS with a sword and shield. Blood Tracker Deadly Bite unlocks a new melee-focused build for hunters. Earthen Guardian helps transform shamans into powerful tanks. Some classes can even obtain helps transform
Increase your maximum health and all threat generated. Yeah, that would help.
shamans into powerful tanks. Some classes can even obtain a tamed pet through their legendary enchantment, adopting a new friend.
It's because you can't change your name.
Baby, say my name one more time.
I won't say your name. I love petite lady boy.
To join you on the adventure. Epic enchantments help you make targeted adjustments to your character, teaching you new spells, changing how others work, or placing specific power in places you find most meaningful. Using epic enchantments, you'll augment yourself to excel in certain situations, standing out from other members of your class. Spells like Crackling Thunder for warriors, Light at the End of the Tunnel for priests, and Earthen Spike for shamans are found here. Rare enchantments give you pinpointed versatility, either offering you glyphs or access to crucial talents from other trees, things like Ignite, Enrage, or Aim Shot. Since Warcraft Reborn uses Wrath of the Lich King talent trees, you can go deeper into your spec than you could in original Classic.
Yes.
Rare enchantments let you
can
pick
just
up
put all of
key
it into one.
crossover talents without giving up depth in your main tree. You can find mystic enchantments scattered throughout Azeroth. Discover them in the open world, trade for them by bartering with mysterious merchants, win them by overcoming brand new events and challenges,
Yay.
or loot them from the enemies you slay. Enemies who use specific spells can drop enchantments for that spell when you slay them. So kill Fireball using wizards for Fireball related enchantments, and bandits for Backstab or Sinister Strike enchantments. Additionally, your class trainer sells all of your rare
See, what if you miss these enchantments? Is it only based on the
Sinister Strike
rank of backstab that you have? And if you learn the next, say for example you don't find this item and then you upgrade the next backstab, does it just take into account? Is this retroactive? Do you have to go back and kill like level 1 monsters that you missed whilst leveling up because they actually had something that could permanently boost your character that's still relevant at level 60? Oh, you can buy them, I see.
enchantments. Additionally, your
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Blizzard takes a lot of inspiration from it, because if nothing else, you can certainly say that the creativity going into this is very impressive. But obviously, it's private server and it's on Ascension, so there's probably going to be some pay to win going on there. But you don't have to play it that way. But yeah, Blizzard would certainly take inspiration from that aspect.
class trainer sells all of your rare enchantments directly.
Oh, there you go. Sells it directly. But obviously, that's going to cost you. There's these Ascension points. I don't know how you build those up. I guess just from playing the game, or you could probably just buy those from the shop. So that's the slight issue, is when something costs like 10 billion Ascension points and you got to play for like X amount of hours just to get one thing that someone can pay for. It's a bit rough.
When you find an enchantment, it will appear
It's a pay to skip, effectively, says C-Punk. Yeah.
appear as a scroll in your inventory. Consume the scroll to imbue it to yourself and gain its effects. You'll unlock more enchantment slots as you level up. Using a mystic altar, a mysterious object dropped by players or found in specific locations throughout the open world,
Points are from quests and dungeons.
You can permanently
Okay.
save an enchantment to your realm-wide collection, letting you access it on any current or future character that you create on the realm. This means that if you find an enchantment for a different class while you're adventuring out in the open world, you can get it and extract it to your collection. Then make a new character and dive straight into an exciting new way to play. Mystic enchantments allow you to choose your own strength.
That's one of the things I really liked about Mists of Pandaria. They didn't really do that with abilities, but they had that aisle towards the end where you could just basically get gear that could affect your other classes. And this is back when I used to level every class to maximum. So it's like, oh, I found a bunch of gear that I can slap on another class. Whilst playing my main class, I could then gear up another class to then make it more accessible, to then start hopping into and giving that one a go.
Differentiating you from other members of your class and creating unique opportunities where you can be legendary. You might even find ways to team up with other heroes that complement your strengths, taking on greater challenges together. As you scour the open world for new dangers and immersive new items, you'll eventually need to return to base, whether to train new skills, sell old equipment, or even craft new items. Returning to town offers you the chance to take stock and prepare for your next expedition. One way to do this is through professions.
Yar.
On Warcraft Reborn, professions get an overhaul to stand on par with world-forged items and immersive gear drops.
He has the same face every time.
Means of progression, letting you craft the arms and armor that can aid you on your adventure. To start, you can upgrade your crafted gear multiple times with new upgrade kits, which let you improve your crafted items with higher level materials. When you take the time and resources to forge something incredible,
very creative stuff there.
Kits make sure
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Letting you make it stronger to aid you longer. Second, the gear you forge has a little more
That's
bite
real
to
well
it
done.
to better contend with the stronger world and deadlier creatures you'll face. Every piece of gear you craft receives an additional random affix, gaining additional stats to better suit your playstyle. These bonuses, like of the eagle or of the bear, or even new affixes like of expert strikes or of rending, place new stats on your crafted gear, expanding its versatility so that you can forge the set that's right for you. Third, crafting and gathering items awards experience, so that when you harvest an herb, mine some more, brew a potion, or forge a weapon, you'll get experience points based on the difficulty of the item. This integrates professions with your journey so that they feel like a natural part of the process, one that's helping you get stronger as you go. But that's just the beginning. On Warcraft Reborn, you'll discover brand new craftables like food and item enchantments, forge belt buckles.
That's the main reason to play with the slightly more modern graphics, like you say. It might not necessarily even be Wrath of Lich King because they still had the more basic graphics there. But yeah, Cataclysm, for example, definitely, I think. If it wasn't Cataclysm, it must have been around that time. The characters look goofy. They still looks World of Warcrafty, which is fine because that's it's still got the Warcraft essence, Samwise Didier style sort of look. They still look like they're wearing big shoulder plates and all that. They haven't changed them too much, but they have this goofy look.
Cape linings, or a home-cooked meal for your raid to enhance your group and contribute to victory. You'll also find new item recipes out on your adventure, expanding the ways that you can craft, trade, and interact with Azeroth's economy. You'll even find brand new professions like woodcutting, which will expand the ways that you can engage with professions and make your mark on Azeroth.
Is that like an extra second here, so you can pick that up on top of the two primaries?
Warcraft Reborn offers an incredible leveling adventure, enriched with tons of new content. But leveling
be a peasant,
up is just
yeah. There needs to. Where's hostile peasants that you can attack? You can kill some in dead mines. They have mining gear though. They don't have lumberjack gear. But you could basically kill them enough times to get the gear to look like a lumberjack and then go around chopping trees.
The beginning. Once you're strong enough, you'll storm into an endgame that's a full-blown adventure.
Look like a heroic dungeon.
Gear up in overhauled dungeons and raids, jam-packed with new mechanics, new difficulties, and new treasure. Whether you're diving into normal, heroic, or mythic versions of your favorite dungeons, attempting ascended level raids, or even raid trials with your guild, or charging into the all-new dungeons available on Reborn, you'll collect stronger gear and refine your build with
Scarlet
every
Lumberjacks
boss
in
you
Western
take down.
Playgrounds, yeah.
Dungeons are the best way to gear up as a 5-man group, and raids are available with anywhere between 10 to 25 players. And the more people you bring, the more loot you get. With multiple levels of difficulty, including a full vanilla Mythic Plus system with new and
Oh, yeah, it's got the Mythic Plus stuff. Need an actual good group for this stuff. You're approving Marcus for glazing this one. I think he glazes everything, to be honest with you. But, yeah. Project Epoch's probably not going to like this too much. Because this is obviously quite a lot of effort put into this, for sure.
improved affixes. You can face off against the difficulty that's right for you, then climb through the ranks for even greater challenge.
What's going on here? Oh, I see. Heroic, Mythic, Ascended. So Ascended is the highest tier. Not huge power spikes, but definitely power spikes nonetheless, so it's not like crazy.
Even veteran adventurers will be kept on their toes, so dive into dungeons and raids to continue your adventure. But instanced content isn't all there is to do. On Reborn, there's tons of reasons to venture back out into the open world. Scour the world for mystic enchantments to unlock new spells, passives, and entirely new playstyles for you and all of your different classes. You might find something incredible for your current class, or something enticing for an alt that you just have to try. Collect mystic enchantments to discover new ways to tackle Reborn, or just fill up your collection. Befriend the various factions of Azeroth to unlock wild rewards for your main and all of your alts. On Warcraft Reborn, reputation is realm-wide, so your hard work benefits all your characters. Challenge monstrous world bosses roaming Azeroth's wilds, giving everyone a chance to get epic loot.
Yay.
These massive creatures require full raids of adventure.
I remember doing Kazakh properly way back in the day. That was so much fun. And we were fighting against another guild as well. So it's kind of impossible to do because they keep trying to run in and get killed, so then it'd fire more bolts off and then vice versa.
To take them down, but if you can, everyone who participated gets a cache of spoils. Not only will you face off against classic world bosses overhauled with new mechanics, but you might even discover new world bosses to test your mettle and the strength of your resolve. Take on new quests from the Hero's Call Board, an endgame quest board that sends you and others out into deadly locations, like the Tainted Scar or Alkaz Island. Then slay powerful creatures for caches of incredible treasure. This call board sends all adventurers to the same locations, meaning you might find potential friends to ally with, or deadly enemies to compete against. It's a great way to find some world PvP, so swap into PvP mode in major cities, and way to find some world PvP. So swap.
You cannot be attacked or attacked in a world PvP. I see. So you can choose a no-risk PvE. Could you just swap this whenever you like if you're in a main town or something? So open world PvP can drop gold and chest. A chance at looting Bloodforged rare and epic dungeon items throughout the world. At looting Bloodforged rare. The higher your item level, the better the rewards. Players in higher risk will only see other high-risk players in the open world. So if no one else is doing it, then you got the whole world to yourself with the better rewards. Generally speaking, it doesn't look like you get too much more extra for it.
Swap into PvP mode in major cities and add a bit of danger to your quests. But for the truly bloodthirsty, honor and glory await in battlegrounds and arenas. Charge into the fight and pit yourself against other players in savage combat. wage war in classic BGs like Warsong Gulch and Arathi Basin, and look forward to brand new battlegrounds like Twin Peaks and the Temple of Kotmogu.
Oh god, I didn't like that one. I didn't hate it, but
Brand
that
new
one was...
battlegrounds like Twin Peaks and the Temple of...
This tend to be quite clear who was going to win it, generally speaking, most of the time. Not always, but they'd always be like, oh, they just got better gear. You just can't kill them. They just got more healers. They can keep the guy alive for longer. You can't get the ball off the twat.
Kotmogu. Each map is a chance to prove your might.
That's always the most fun thing in the world to do. One of my favorite tricks in that was to be a warrior and then put myself at the edge of the thing, debate myself into getting like pushed off, and then charge back at them when they kick me off. That was always fun to do.
Playing to your class's strengths to outmaneuver and outsmart the enemy. If you prefer more competitive combat, arenas offer you the chance to team up with a small group for fast-paced skirmish PvP. Battle it out in 2v2 and 3v3 arenas, putting your new builds and spells to the test in wild PvP combat. Of course, new maps await you in arenas too, so prove your mastery in these all-new locations. No matter how you brawl, you can amass honor and collect powerful PvP gear, making you stronger against other players. Warcraft Reborn features several tiers of PvP gear, so you can quickly jump into the base set, then wage war to become even stronger. Yet for many, the thrill of Azeroth is in its open world. What if you just want to experience all the new locations, world-forged items, quests, and adventures again? On Warcraft Reborn, you can with Prestige Mode. Prestige Mode lets you reset your character to level 1 so you can relive the journey and get rewards when you make it to level cap again.
Jesus.
When you Prestige, you keep everything important about your character. Your items, your bank, your professions, and gear. It just resets your level back to 1 so that you can level up again. Want to explore the open world for world-forged items or mystic enchantments you might have missed? Feel like adventuring to a distant zone to see what new quests and locations might be there? Or maybe you just want to level up with your buddies without making a new character. Now you can with Prestige. Speak to Chromie in a capital city, reset to level 1, and set off on your next adventure. But you don't have to level up again in the same way. If you really want to add some spice to your Prestige run, try tackling a hardcore trial. Challenge modes that introduce...
Holy shit. See, this is the sort of thing I would love. I'm more into the PvE kind of stuff, personally.
Prestige run.
There's other games I can play if I want to do
tackling
PvP.
a hardcore trial.
But I want stuff that's genuinely fucking hard to do, but doable, as long as you, like, dodge the right things and pull off the right moves. It's definitely you give the tools, you got the tools to get the job done. It's just very difficult to pull off, and then you get a little reward. I want basically like Warcraft 3 custom games, effectively, just sort of really challenging ones. Yeah.
Challenge modes that introduce...
This makes SOD look like some cheap amateur private server. Yeah, I know. This is the thing that's kind of annoying, isn't it? Is they've put so much into it. Why can't Blizzard just bloody do this?
New danger and excitement to your adventure. Hardcore trials change up how you play. Some make you level up with only 1 life. Others increase the damage you take from enemies. Some even completely change the way that you approach Azeroth, like exchanging your lungs for gills.
That's one I probably wouldn't want to have to do. There's survival games you can play to do that. I've been there, I've done it, like Long Dark, etc., where you're always freezing cold and you need to keep eating so you don't starve to death, all this kind of stuff. This idea is that you have to always be near water or something. Basically, when you're off water and you're on land, you start to lose breath, which is crazy.
So that you can only breathe while in water, starting to drown anytime you quest on land. If you succeed,
That's a no.
Incredible rewards await you, like runes, toys, and even cosmetics like mounts and gear sets. You can challenge hardcore trials solo or with friends, but you can only accept them right at level 1. Speak with the challenger in your zone to see all available hardcore trials.
So you have to do it right off the bat. There's no going back. So you'd have to look into this if you want to do any of these.
Then select the one you want, or multiple ones if you're insane. Once you and your friends all have the same trials, set off to begin your adventure. Warcraft Reborn has all sorts of new ways to enjoy your time in Azeroth, but don't rush the adventure. On Reborn, every second is exciting, from your first few levels all the way to endgame and back again. Explore an Azeroth enhanced with dozens of new features, where the world is enriched with new places to explore, and where every encounter feels exciting and unique, where you'll use new tools to overcome familiar foes, challenge empowered creatures ready to defeat you, and discover all sorts of new treasure to enhance your class like never before. Everything comes together in a new type of Classic Plus where everyone can join the adventure, meet new allies, challenge new foes, and explore Azeroth Expanded. Whether you're an Ascension veteran ready for a new adventure, a Classic player searching to recapture your love for the world, or even a brand new player who has never stepped foot into WoW before, you can join tens of thousands of other players and embark on the adventure together. This is just the beginning of the next generation of Classic Plus. Prepare yourself, adventurer. The next chapter of your legend is about to begin.
Yeah, Blizzard are warming up the lawyers. But yeah, Ascension is part of Russia, I believe, yes. So it's much harder for Blizzard to hit that. So yeah, if you want to find out more about this, just check out Bronzebeard. You just literally type it into Google and it'll pretty much come up. And you got ridiculous amount of detail here. It's kind of incredible how much they put into it. So I'll definitely check it out. I'll give it a go. I'm not promising anything about committing because I find it hard to do that these days. I'm an all or nothing kind of person typically. So if I do go all in, then I really want to go all in, but I'm not sure I have the time to do that because things are different for me these days, but certainly worth a look for sure for the exploration and the vibes. So check it out. Thanks for watching.